Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
You're a piece of garbage. You know, last year, I drafted somebody with my first pick overall. And somebody sharing this room with us right now, this Zoom room, told me that was a dumb idea. And he spent the next year to 2 years, however long it's been, telling me I'm a dumb. So you know what I do? I go and trade the guy. You know what I do? I don't pick him up in fantasy. I could have gotten him. I don't pick him up. I let him go. And then I start saying the same slander that this man has said. Derrick Henry's washed. Huh? Is Derrick Henry washed? Doesn't look washed to me.
But this is what we thought he was washed because we never thought he'd get out of Tennessee.
Yeah, he looks flippant. Did you see that guy?
Yeah.
How many carries? 25 carries last week, like 18 carries this week.
199. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
I would be so pissed, bro, if I was him. 199.
Yeah, 199, 2 TDs. That's insane.
Yeah. First play from line of scrimmage, 87-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he's looked better than I feel like he has ever looked. He looks absolutely insane.
Well, he's got something to play for now beyond just like stats.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
And he's got dogs. Like he's got dogs.
Bro,
around.
that team's truly taken on that, like we're gonna run it. Whether you like it. That QB, like that, you remember that QB design run that Lamar took in like the third quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like Isaiah Likely and Ricard. That's his name, Ricard? Bro, those dudes just flipping flatlined everybody.
Okay, wait, don't go too far into it.
I know. Okay, yeah.
Should have waited to do this in recap.
Well, that's because the way you're defending yourself is like being all analytical. Like, yeah, there's a lot of good pieces back and forth. This is a segment telling you to piss off. He could have been on my team right now. I would have won this week if he was on my team.
Oh, yeah, you did get walked. All right, well, let's intro the show. What's up, heads? I'm Devin, that's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports, where we talk about pretty much football because it's football season, and that's America's sport. We throw other stuff in there sometimes, but we like to talk about the NFL. If you like the video, please like it, subscribe. If you haven't, we're on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers. And of course, comment, hit the noti bell, all the good stuff. Let's jump in. This is Buffet Sports. It's all you can eat. Let's do a recap of week 4 so far. We have the Monday games, of course, still to go. Titans, Finns, that one seems pretty straightforward. Seahawks, Lions, that one feels pretty straightforward. I'm hoping that it's not, but we'll see. I want to open this part of the show by talking about my Broncos because we beat the Jets this week. 10-9. And here's a wild stat for you. Okay. The Bo Nix's 60 passing yards was the least amount of passing yards for a winning team in the millennium.
Hell yeah, Bo.
Hey, 60 passing yards.
Wins a win.
Wins a win. 60 passing yards. Had his first passing touchdown to Courtland Sutton this week, which was super cool to see. That it was to Courtland Sutton. There he is, 3 receptions, all apparent 60 yards went to Courtland Sutton. I'm in shock. Like I was watching that game and I was just in shock. It was a terrible game to start out with. It was like 0-0 till the second quarter. It was raining. It was nasty. The defense was getting gritty. Special teams. Our special teams is so good, dude. And I don't say that lightly. Like consistently, every time I turn on a Broncos game, there are 2 to 3 punts that we down on the 1 yard line.
Oh, hell yeah. Who's their punter?
Like, I don't know.
He's
but
a madman. Needs a new contract.
Well, I mean, it's the Gunners too downing the ball, but like he's not putting it on the 1. He may put it on like the 10, but Gunners are down there. I mean, special teams is for the Broncos. They're playing out of their minds. Defense is playing really well. Pat Surtain has had an up and down year, but showed up in this game against Garrett.
I think what this shows is Broncos defense is for real. I mean, this was a tester game for sure, going up against this star-studded offense that the New York Jets
And we
have.
just lost our best linebacker
Yeah,
for the year. And so, like, when you look down the line, I talked about Jonah Ellis in the offseason when we drafted him, our third round pick, the edge rusher. He's been playing really well. And
And Aaron
they're
Rodgers.
just
Aaron
ahead.
Rodgers can read a defense too. This isn't any of these rookies that we're seeing or any of these guys who have developed differently to where they're not able to read defenses. That's why like the Vikings defense is so good, is because they disguise everything. This is a guy who can read it all. He can see everything, and they're still able to pull out a win against
Part of it too is that they like what I was gonna say is there's so much laundry on the field. Like the Jets offensive line and just like offensive chemistry is so bad. They're starting first downs so consistently behind the sticks. It's so bad. And then the other thing is too, they were talking about this in the broadcast, the the defense, not the starters, the Broncos defense has one first round pick.
Oh,
One first round pick, and it's Pat Surtain. The rest are second and below, which is wild in and of itself, and kind of makes sense to a degree. The continuity that they have, where everyone just has a chip on their shoulder and they're hungry. Like I wasn't a first round pick, so I want it. But defenses they just played their minds out.
yeah. What
and
the hell
ended
happened to Brees Hall? Did he get hurt?
No, Brees Hall played like the whole game, and he was I was gone for part of it, but he just was not like I don't know. Brees Hall did.
Yeah, he's not even
nothing.
on like the regular rush. Oh no, I'm on the Broncos.
That's because
why.
you're the Broncos.
Aaron Rodgers had more yards than Brees Hall. Brees Hall
Yeah.
had 10 carries for 4 yards. That's absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, the D line is like one of our biggest weaknesses last year was run defense, and it's been cleaned up. Whatever Vance Joseph is doing, he needs to keep doing it because
Hey, shout out you,
boy
Vance.
almighty.
Shout out you. Hell of a game. Holy
Hell
shit.
of a game. 2-2. Like I did not expect that, but I'm super hyped about it. So enough of me gushing about the Broncos.
Let's go Vikings Packers.
Yes, let's talk
You
about it
you
because
you see this game at all?
I did not. I saw like the very, very end of it. But boy, rough start for Jordan Love at the beginning of the game. They went up like 28 points. It was like 28-7 or something. And then they clawed and fought their way back.
They were coming back.
First game back, Jordan Love claws and fights his way back. But boy, can we just continue to clap it up for Sam Darnold? Damn it.
Oh yeah, Sam Darnold got a cannon on him. He's got a cannon on him out there.
After tonight, he might be the MVP frontrunner.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see where it all lies after this. I just want to point out that Green Bay Packers had 22 points in the fourth quarter. If you take out the fourth quarter, this was a dominant game until the fourth quarter when they really clawed back. So super, super slow start for Jordan Love, having 3 interceptions in one game.
Yeah, tough. 54 attempts.
Yeah, 54. That's a
380. Is that an 8 or 6? 389 or 369?
389.
389. 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Hey, that's a Jared Goof stat line. That's what he looks like out there.
That is. But Sam Darnold over there, 20 for 28, 275, 3 touchdowns,
TDs,
only one interception.
And that interception, by the way, they were looking at it. It shouldn't have been an interception. The guy didn't have possession, and then his arm was out of bounds. When they replayed it, it should not have been an interception. So really, he should have had a perfect game, a clean game. But I want to talk about how, as of late, with what we've been talking about, offenses have been starting so slow. We've seen that offenses are having success, like the Ravens, when you have a guy like Aaron Jones that you can give 22 carries to and he gets 93 yards.
Bell cow. We need a bell cow. We need a bell.
Yeah, we need a cowbell. Bell cow backs are back. They are back in this league, and they're better.
It lasted like a year. It lasted literally like a year.
Yeah, there was
we were like, I don't know. They're
like, everybody needs a pass catching back. Screw that. Joe Mixon, bell cow. Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, get them on the field and keep them there.
Bell cows,
A-gap blast, baby.
It brings into question, just real quick, since we're talking about it, brings into question the kid from Boise, the guy from Boise State.
Yeah,
Bro, is he gonna be? We were talking about like, are we gonna see another first round running back anytime soon? He might be. Like,
he
there,
might be.
unless they go the analytics route where they're like, no, we can't take a running back, and he goes like second round or something, or he goes at the end of the first and falls to
Yeah.
someone like, imagine he falls to like a KC. You know what I'm saying? That's
There's no
a real
way.
possibility.
There's
That's a real
no.
possibility.
Honestly, yeah, that is possible. I think if there is a reason why he's going to fall, that's because they're going to look at like who they played, the type of defenses that they played, and they're going to look at that, and maybe that takes away. But I mean,
I really just
if
hope he
he's in
doesn't
the
go to the
combine,
Bengals.
yeah. But if he's in the combine and like he shows up, he's like running a 4.3 type of deal. I mean, this might be let's what, screw it. Let's dip our balls in the soy sauce. Let's say this is the guy who's going to go in the first round. That's the
Yeah,
guy. We're calling it right here, right now.
bro, he's insane. He's so nasty.
But yeah, and
But
it'll fit with what's happening right now in the league.
yeah,
A cowbell bout. Yeah. Cowbell backs are back, and you're seeing like the usages for that. And every team that has a good cowbell is having success right now.
okay.
A cowbell.
Yeah, anyways, back to these guys. I just don't know what to say. I'm just in shock. Like, they are one of three teams that are still undefeated
Mm-hmm.
in the league. They continue to just show up. Like, you keep
That
waiting for
defense
them to
too.
just, yeah, the defense just shows up. You keep waiting for them to just like, I don't know. We've only been through 4 weeks, but I keep waiting for the Sam Darnold to return. You know, the Sam
Yeah.
Darnold we know, and he just doesn't. And like at this point, it's still a small sample size.
Mm-hmm.
But look,
But they played
let's say he
two
fall.
really good teams, the Texans
Yeah,
and the Packers. Those are two good ass teams, both in the
and
playoffs.
for the most part, both of them were handled. Like they
Yeah.
let this one kind of slip a little bit, but they handled both of them for the majority of the game. And I all my mind can think of is even if Sam Darnold does fall apart, they're not going to go on a streak where they lose like 5 games. They like just go 500, and you're a
Yeah.
playoff team. And you're a lock playoff team. Like not like you're sneaking in on the back end. You're a lock for like 5 or 6.
And you want to know something funny? Because I was watching this game, the amount of challenges that Kevin O'Connell, I think he went 3 for 3 in this game. He challenged it 3 times and got all three going. Now I'm a big conspiracy guy over here. You know, tinfoil hat. All I'm saying in Lambeau, he had to call 3 challenges. He goes 3 for 3. If he doesn't call those, maybe we're looking at a different game. That's all I'm going to say. I know we don't believe in scripts around here. I'm just saying that felt like a very one-sided, unfair game. And we're even going back to the pick, where the pick technically, like, that should have been reviewed for sure, but that pick shouldn't have been a pick. It should have been an incomplete pass. That's what it should have been. So from watching that game, very weird game, a lot of penalties, there was like a
Been
stretch
so many
there.
penalties
There,
this
there was
year.
like a 20-minute stretch where we were just watching reviews. There was like 2 challenges back to back, and he got them both just back to back. And it's like, what's going on here with these refs? What are they doing?
Okay, let's get some of the the national TV cherry pops out of the way. Eagles got their cherry popped by the Bucks on national TV. That was terrible. It was what? What was the score? We don't need to talk about more than just the score there, but
It's not flipping loading. Eagles 33-16.
33-16. Like it was just a bloodbath. The Eagles they're just so up and down and disappointing in general. Also, Jalen Hurts lost me a parlay today. Um so but I mean, other than that, like we don't, again, we don't really need to talk about it more than
Well,
that. They
it's
just got
good
their cherry
defense.
popped. Mando's Cardinals. Jaden Daniels, front runner
Oh,
for rookie of the year.
oh,
Cardinals got their
it's not
cherry
even
popped.
close.
They got their cherry popped on national television as well. I believe this one was in the ballpark of like 42-17, if my memory serves.
42-14.
42-14. So yeah, the Commanders are 3-1. What
And
the hell?
you know what's crazy about this is that none of us thought that even if Jaden Daniels was the best rookie coming out of that class, I know there's a couple people online who were saying that. None of us ever thought the Commanders were going to be good this year because we were like their defense sucks.
We got
like
time.
Yeah,
We got
I mean,
time.
we do have time, but they're looking flipping fantastic right now.
The Commanders are one of those teams though that it's not like the Vikings where I don't like their defense could let them down and it could fall apart. So I'm not like hanging my hat on their record, but they look like they're explosive. They look
Yeah.
really, really good. And Jaden Daniels just continues to look really, really good. Go ahead.
I would argue that before the season started, we would all say that Jaden Daniels, out of the rookie QBs, he was going to the worst scenario. I think that's what we all thought in our heads.
Yeah, I think so. But we didn't count in the fact that he had Cliff.
True.
Let's go to Chiefs Chargers because this was a good game. This was a very good game. And
I saw a little bit of it.
This one was, I mean, you can see from the score, it was just a nasty Harbaugh game. He just wanted to muck it up and play Harbaugh football.
Yeah, that's
like-
Jimmy for you, Mr. Jimmy Johns.
Like the Chargers, I mean, look at that. 6 for 27, 16 for 27, 179. This is Justin Herbert we're talking about. Like a generational thrower of the football. And he's like, it wasn't a pretty game. Patrick Mahomes, another interception.
What's going on with him, you know?
Look, but this just goes to show the championship medal and the next guy up culture in KC that it's just like the goal is just to win. It doesn't matter if it's pretty, just win the football game and do what you need to. We don't need to go balls to the wall, just win the football game.
Yeah, don't put your balls
Travis
on the wall.
Kelce finally popped 7 receptions, 89 yards. That was primarily because Rashee Rice died and is probably out for the year. There's fear that he tore his ACL on a play where basically Patrick hit him. Unfortunately his season might be done. But this is a team that is without Isaiah Pacheco and now is without Rashee Rice.
But hey, I mean, rushing, Kareem had 14 carries. J.K. Dobbins, who's been a superstar, has 14 carries. Kareem had 30 more yards than him.
Yeah, Kareem popped. The defensive line is just so good. Spags is just so good. Their defensive coordinator is just so good. There's nothing else to say. They just win. They just win, and that's what makes me think more and more. Just we're gonna see a three-peat. We're gonna see another three-peat because they're just that's their only goal. It's not stats. It's not individual. Like they've all done it all at this point. They've got 2 Super Bowls. Travis Kelce has won. Like Travis Kelce's won, Patrick's won, Andy's won. It's just keep winning now.
Yeah. The shout out lad, another rookie showing out, getting a touchdown, 5 receptions, 67 yards. Hell yeah.
Joshua Palmer's been kind of like, I know that 3 receptions, 36 yards doesn't look all that crazy, but when you're looking at the entirety down the line, who you're playing and down the line of the statistics of like, Justin only threw for 167 yards. It's like, okay, like
that's a decent chunk.
He's playing his role, which we thought that he was just going to fall apart, he had fallen apart rather.
Same thing with Quentin Johnson. I know Quentin Johnson didn't have a good game, but I mean, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even last week, he popped off, and I was excited. I was like, hell yeah! Now that guy who went in the first round is finally showing out. But I mean, another down game for him. We'll see how they do next week. But I mean, this wide receiver core is looking up. They have some talent. It's just putting it all together.
Yeah, Lad had a crazy catch in the back of the end zone for that touchdown catch was crazy. The last one is the most fun one. Steelers Colts.
Oh yeah.
Anthony Richardson goes down. Joe Magic comes in, saves the day. And they win 27-24, hand the Steelers their first loss. I hope not that I hope that Anthony Richardson stays hurt, but I hope we get to continue to see Joe Magic because it's just fun. It's just fun to watch. How about we keep the rock?
Yeah, let's keep Daddy Joe on the field for a little bit longer. All right, maybe AR goes 3 and out. Let's just toss him in for a drive. See what he can work. All right, he's obviously still got it. Love that. Love watching my QB. He's my QB. Love watching him play play this game that I love so goddamn much. I love seeing him sling that thing like he did back in the day. Throwing to
Joe
Steve Smith
Magic.
and
I
Smith.
honestly, he's slinging it better than he did in the Ravens uniform, for being for real.
Honestly, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Like regular season Joe on the Ravens compared to this Joe
Yeah.
is woo, pretty insane right now.
Different animal, man.
16 for 26, 168 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions.
And that's coming in cold.
Yeah, that's coming in cold.
And with Ben Roethlisberger and Pat McAfee in the stands.
Hey, but that's just what Joe does. Joe don't give
6 for 113, Michael Pittman. Let's go, baby. Joe understands the hierarchy and how to get his guys the ball.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, and I think that's kind of where a lot of rookie QBs are losing it. I think Jaden Daniels does that well. But, I mean, let's just talk about Caleb Williams and how I was like, Rome's the new number one. Now he got 1 reception. Like, it's these newer quarterbacks, they're having troubles figuring out who their number one is.
Well,
and who they're
before
gonna throw to.
before even they can figure out who to throw the ball to, they are having to, like, you got bad offensive lines. They've got bad situations. They, whatever it is, it's just rookie woes, and it's going to be that way for a while. Like, until we get to week 10 or so, it's going to be this way for a while, apparently, aside from Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, but we had a boomer bust. I think we had it 2 weeks in a row about Justin Fields, about him staying as the QB for the flipping Steelers. Let's read through his stats. Let's read through his stats really quick. 22 for 34, 312 yards, 1 TD. And he's also the rushing leader with 10 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Bell cow.
He's the bell cow.
Bell cow.
And he's throwing for 312 yards. Hey, I know there's a certain someone who doesn't like it when White Man of the Week isn't white. Candidate for sure.
No,
Candidate for
he
sure.
can't be. He can't be, because we know what he is. But yes, no, I'm not talking about it that way. Come on. No, I'm not talking about it that way.
Incredible game. I will.
Yes.
I'm going to eat my words. I say for sure. Screw Russ. Throw him to the waivers. Like you said, we're paying him $1 million. Wipe your ass with that $1 million. Keep Justin Fields on the field.
Honestly, dude, like, at this point, if you pull him, you're just gonna hurt his confidence.
Yeah, and you're gonna hurt the team.
And yeah, the team loves Justin. That's all they were talking about during the offseason. I don't want Russ in my locker room. This may be the end for him, which is just like,
I don't want him in my locker room doing
this. Which is just like, it's kind of sad in a way that he fell off this way.
Well,
but
with the rumors that went out about Russ, he kind of deserves it. There was rumors about like him wanting Pete Carroll. He's trying to kick Pete Carroll out. I mean, Marshawn Lynch doesn't even like him. Like, there's definitely some rumors about the type of person he is behind the scenes, and it's not. People are saying it's not that great of a guy. What people are saying.
Yeah. Last one let's talk about here is the gunfight that happened in Carolina. Bengals, Panthers. I know they didn't win today. I know the Panthers didn't win, but they're putting up points.
Andy the Rocket Dalton, ladies and gentlemen.
The Red Rocket. Like, I know they didn't win and they lost by 10, but like, think about how bad this game would have been 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this game would have been terrible. And we've said the Bengals are slow starters. They're picking it up. All right, they're picking it up. Right? Xavier Legette gets a touchdown. Nice little celebration from him. But I mean,
14 points in the second quarter was their big one there. But Bengals
they're scoring.
Finally bounce back.
They're scoring points in 4 quarters. Hell of an improvement.
Bengals bounce back game. They're now 1-3. Joe played well, still threw a pick. But 22 for 31, 232, 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown, another bell cow. Zach Moss seems to be nowhere to be found.
I know, and he was so good in Indy too. I don't know what's
I
happening
know,
with him.
just nowhere to be found, I guess. 15 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns.
TDs.
Clap it up for Chase. Jamar Chase, the other Chase on the team, 3 receptions, 85 yards. Yep, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a big
We're
one
seeing
reception of that was like 67, 67-yard touchdown. So,
we're seeing a lot of that lately, where your number ones, they're getting really low receptions but big yards and like 1 TD. That's been a theme here.
because corners are so good now. Every team has a good corner. Not a Pat Surtain, not a Sauce Gardner, not a Jalen Johnson, but every team has a Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Now, Jalen Ramsey was really good at it. He was at his peak. He was very good. But current Jalen Ramsey is a 2. Every team has one of those guys, at least one, to where they can do majority of the job. But when you've got a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, a Malik Neighbors, when you've got that caliber of guy, a Marvin Harrison Jr., when you've got that caliber of guy, he's bound to slip through the cracks one time. And so you can do the job most of the game, but they're still going to have their moment.
Yeah. And how do we feel about the Panthers now with Andy Dalton? Like, what kind of record are we
they're
seeing?
not gonna make the playoffs. But
they're at least
I will say I am a little bit nervous about our bet.
And I will say that Panthers prediction I did, I mean, it might be a little more accurate than what it was at the beginning of the season. Right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had them beating the Bengals. Because I had them beating everyone.
I think the end all be all with our bet was, I think it was 6 wins.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit nervous about that now, but at the same time, they're still the Panthers. Like, they're still going to lose games.
They're still 1
if they put up points. Right. They're still 1-3. Deontay Johnson has risen from the dead.
Yes.
He like, I don't know where he came from. 7 receptions, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. Straight out of what he was in Pittsburgh last year, right?
Yep. He was the guy where there was that fumble, and then he looked like he was just standing around, and like we ripped him a new one.
And he had like the longest active streak of days without a touchdown in professional football.
Matt Canada will do that to someone. Matt Canada will do that to someone. You know? Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see. It's fun to see Andy slinging it around. Not quite a white man of the week type performance, but a Valorant one, a gutsy one today. So we'll take what we can get from the boys in Carolina.
This team definitely has been turning around, and their wide receiver core is looking kind of solid with Deontay Johnson. Xavier Legette finally had a pretty damn good game.
Hey, look at Chuba. Look at Chuba.
4 receptions, 17 yards, 18 carries, 100 yards, I still believe in Jonathan Brooks, okay? He's on the roster for a reason.
After these 2 weeks, I don't know if he has a job outside of the practice squad.
All right, but what if Jonathan Brooks comes in here? He runs for 300 yards. What if he does that in one game? You don't know.
I don't know. Chuba looks pretty good, and that's going to be
very good.
That's going to be a sneaky one. I wonder who has him in fantasy. That's just raking in this like newfound brilliance for the next couple weeks. But there it is. There is.
So I'm hoping that Chuba falls off a cliff. Not in real life. Not in real life. Just fantasy points wise, NFL production wise. But he keeps his job. Obviously keeps his job. All right, where are we going next?
It is. There's nothing else really that much that interesting beyond this. Like, Rams Bears was just kind of like bleh. We talked about the cherry pop games.
All right, it's the American medicine.
I love that there was no backing to that.
Backing
it was just I'm a doctor, grab a beer. there was no backing to why you're a doctor. It's just I am a doctor, grab a beer.
I'm a doctor. All right. Will Levis
Pot
is
of
my
pot of
patient.
greed.
All right, what are we hopping into?
Do you want to start us with White Man of the Week, and then we'll just get into predictions?
I don't think I can.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
think I think
Do-
that's it's going to be an after the beer segment.
okay. All right. Well, then that works. That keeps it easy then. All right. 4 games, 5 games, 6 games. 6 games to talk about. We're going
Mhm.
to talk about these 6 at length, and then we are going to make predictions about, we're just going to say one team or the other for the other games. We're not going to talk about them.
Rapid
Okay.
fire, actual
Actual rapid
real
fire.
life rapid fire this
Okay.
time.
We're in Thursday night. We are heading to Atlanta. We have Buccaneers versus Falcons. I straight away am going Bucks.
So I'm going to go Bucks.
We overestimated Kirk.
Here he goes. His alter ego.
See, I don't think they're frauds.
Mooney moving. That's fired. That's caught. And that is Hodge. And Hodge is going to take it.
But I mean,
Like, they are never going to close games.
Out.
Said they're going to go over the middle to the 28-yard line. That's Drake London. Can they get it? Spike. They can with 2.
So they have better players, but they have a terrible culture and they don't know how to win.
And overtime.
These guys got a bad start to their career. They're chalked. I think Kirk is a good guy, and he's the right kind of guy you want to have in a lot of different situations as a leader. Football, to me, is not one of them.
Here he goes. His alter ego.
I do agree with you with that culture, and I do believe in the Bucks culture. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan, and what they've been able to do this season.
Yeah, 100%. So you're going Bucks too. Okay. Next, Sunday morning, we're headed across the pond. I believe it's in London. We're going to talk Jets Vikings, 6:30 a.m.
Six.
Um,
Still be asleep by that time.
Yeah, that's gross. 7:30 a.m. I'm gonna literally open my eyes and just like put the game on and just lay there in my bed and watch it.
Do we know? Do
Um,
any of these teams have they played in London before? Do they have a record? Because we know the Jags are a
I
good team
don't-
when they play across. The
I know
pond.
they just need to move over there.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those teams. To be honest with you, someone will fact check me. Have we? I don't think we've had any overseas games this year other than Brazil. We haven't
no,
had any
we had a
across the
London.
pond.
No, we did. We did. I forget what it was. I think it was a Bills game though.
Bills game early year? No, that was last year. Last year was early Bills.
I want to say we have had one. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, while you look it up, we'll talk a little bit about the game. There's a couple different ways my brain goes when I hear these two teams' names. When it comes to the pick, I think it's far and away clearly the Vikings. We saw the lack of production from Breece Hall last week.
No, you're
Allen,
right.
the rookie was better. We haven't had
You're-
one this year.
Yeah, this is the first one.
So yeah, I'm going Vikings. Like no matter what, it's Vikings win this game. The more interesting thing to me here is how much over the next couple weeks does Aaron Rodgers flash to try and draw Devontae?
I don't
To
think
the
I don't think he has to flash to try and draw Devontae. I think if there is a team that Devontae wants to go, it is to the Jets with Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
not to Devontae, but to the management, to the GM, to say, look, I know we had a rough start, but I like him to flash to say, okay, let's go all the way in. Let's go, like we're in. We did a bunch of stuff. Let's go all the way in. Let's go get Devontae. Let's pay the linebacker or D end, but I can't remember what his position is, but the guy that's sitting out right now on the defense.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, and let's go. Like,
Well, I mean, let's look at it from this perspective. Aaron Rodgers went over there. He brought his OC Nathaniel Hackett, right? He got hurt, and then now he's back.
Kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, and now he's back, and then him and Robert Saleh were having an argument about the cadence, right? The cadence that Aaron Rodgers uses. That stayed.
Which is
So-
wild that a defensive head coach is talking to the guy with the best cadence in like NFL history.
Yeah, that is wild. But what I'm trying to say here is I don't think he has to convince anybody. I think if he wants Devontae and Devontae wants to be there, they'll get it done. I don't think he has to show flashes for that to happen.
I don't know, but Jets do Jets things.
Jets do Jets things, but they haven't since Aaron Rodgers has been there.
I'm just saying, I wonder how much. My point is, I wonder how much some of these games kind of get out of hand, especially with the Vikings, and that defense that they're playing, that he tries to do some wild stuff and like look like old Aaron Rodgers to be like, we can win a Super Bowl, go get my guy,
Yeah.
and then it starts to kind of snowball. And these in the next couple of games end up kind of falling off the deep end and going the wrong way for him, or maybe it works out.
Well,
Either way, I'm still taking the Vikings in this game.
the only thing we could really look at, the only thing that I've really seen as been a factor to the reason why the Jets win or lose is their offensive line. When their offensive line is steady and can
So
give
many
Aaron
penalties.
Rodgers and they can give Aaron Rodgers time to throw and do his thing, they win football games and they look flipping amazing. But as soon as like we're talking about in Denver, I mean, I know it was shitty conditions, it was bad weather,
No,
but also
it was in Jersey.
oh, it was in Jersey.
Yeah.
Shitty conditions, bad weather, but I mean that O line fell apart, and then one of the worst teams in the league ended up beating the Jets, and the Jets were looking insane, and they have all the pieces too. There's not really the only thing that's really bad about that team right now is their O line. So, with that being said, they Vikings drafted Dallas Turner. I know they already have a great D line. That defense is one of the best in the league, as we've seen with how they disguise things. I don't think that's really going to mess with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers already has the football smarts to be able to read and dissect that defense. But I think the O line isn't going to be able to stop the Vikings defensive line. So I'm also going to go Jets with this one.
Yeah, man, because Aaron Rodgers can do.
Oh, I mean
all he
Vikings, not
wants.
Jets.
I
Vikings
know.
with this one.
Aaron Rodgers can do all he wants. He can call out the schemes and be, the guy, whatever. But if you don't have a run game to support you and you can't get more than a second in the pocket, you're chalked.
Yeah,
Especially against a Vikings team that's loaded with weapons on the offensive side.
A lot of momentum
that's
on their team.
liable to just pop off at any moment.
Yeah, and there was a stat saying that it was like we looked at Brees Hall's carries. He had like 10 carries for 4 yards. It was like 8 of those carries he was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Like they're not only can they not protect Aaron Rodgers, they also can't flip and run block and get Brees Hall, one of the best running backs in the league, to the line of scrimmage. That's absolutely insane, especially when you're playing in Jersey, you're playing at home, and it's crappy weather. You know this is going to be a ground and pound game, and you can't flip and get the ball going, especially with their backup running back being a tank and like a 260 flipping shredded tank, and you guys can't get the ball rolling. So it's definitely going to be tough for them. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, the trade deadline is I think in a month. I don't know if they're going to try and get some offensive linemen. I don't know who's on the board to be able to trade for, but they
can't fix their
someone.
line this late in the year. They can't fix it this late. Like, I know it's week 5, but they can't fix it now. They got to just run with it. Yeah. Next, I think this is a 2:25 game or something. This is one of the day games on Sunday. We're heading to Houston for Bills Texans. Bounce back spot for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Roll spot, continue to roll for the Texans. This one's really tough because CJ's looking really good. I know they had the loss to the Vikings. It was like embarrassing, but the
Vikings
Bills are just coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Ravens. So how do you think this falls? I lean Bills because I lean into the spectacular in the fact that Joe Mixon's going to be his first week back.
Do we know for sure if he's coming back this week?
I think so.
I think he's still a little bit questionable. I hope he comes back. But that's where I was going with this, is that when the Bills looked like a terrible football team is when Derrick Henry had 25 carries. So if the Texans don't have Joe Mixon to give 25 carries to where they could pound the rock like we've seen him do week 1. I think, week 2 he got hurt, but in week 1, if that's like the problem with the Bills defense is that they can't stop the running game. Maybe they just can't stop Derrick Henry. I don't know, but I'm going with the fact that they might that might be their weakness is running the ball. Yeah, no hip drop. But if they have to give the ball to Cam Akers, I'm going Bills. But if Joe Mixon is back, I'm feeling very good about the Texans' chances.
I know. I do too, but I don't. Yeah. I think the Bills are going to come out with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after last week. They have to, because they have to prove that they're for real. So I lean Bills for that reason. And so I'm going to go Bills. I'm really on the fence, though. I'm really on the fence. This is one of the soft bone body picks that I'm gonna
Yeah.
that I have this week, but I'm gonna lean Bills.
I'm gonna pick the upset here. I'm gonna say
Okay.
Joe Mixon is he's back and he's hungry, and they do give him the ball 25, 30 times. He gets me 30 points on fantasy. That would really get my balls, soaking right now. So that's where I'm going. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I want.
That was a wild thing to say. All right, heading Sunday night to
Shout out
Pittsburgh,
Mormons.
where the Cowboys play the Steelers. The defensive line, defense in general for the Cowboys is just beat up right now.
Yeah.
And just injuries all over the place. I haven't heard word of what's going to happen with Micah. But TJ Watt is TJ Watt. Justin Fields should be the starter for the rest of the year. He's going to start in this game. For that reason, I'm going Steelers.
I think this is a tester game. I think this is a tester game to see how good Justin Fields actually is, and I think he's going to.
I don't think it's a tester game for Justin Fields. I think it's a tester game for the Steelers as a whole. Personally,
The Steelers as a whole, yeah, I can
As a
see
whole,
that.
I
I
think.
mean, Cowboys definitely are banged up right now. That offense is still looking good. I'm going to go upset too, just because it's screw the Cowboys 24/7 around here. So let's go Steelers. Let's go Justin Fields. Absolutely looking. He's been looking insane. The Steelers need Najee. Love Najee, obviously, but I mean they got to start looking for somebody else.
I don't know what they need though. That's the thing. Like George Pickens has been better. The connection with Justin Fields is building. I think the last week was obviously flashes for Justin Fields. I think they just need that. Like I think that's the capacity. Like Justin Fields can be an MVP candidate. It's just can we nurse him back to like you're a guy. Like you're a guy. We got guys. You're a guy. Like we
got
that's what I
guys.
think this comes down to, and it's just going to be through the year. How much does his confidence build as the year goes on? That's what I really think this comes down to for the Steelers, because there's nothing that I look at and I'm like, they don't have this. Like they could probably like stand to bolster their wide receiver room beyond Pickens, but they've got a decent tight end, they've got decent running backs, they've got a fantastic defense, they have the quarterback that can do crazy stuff. It's just now like building his confidence.
Yeah, not much else to say there. I'm picking the Steelers as well.
All right,
Bounce
so
back
Monday night, we head to Kansas City, where they are going to play the Saints. Kareem Hunt is in the lineup for the Chiefs now. No Rashee Rice, potential ACL tear. Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce looks like a dud. I don't want to pick against Patrick Mahomes, though. Like, I just don't want to pick against him. And
You're a little
Spags is just that defense. They gave up their best, their second best defensive player, arguably.
Mr. Schneed.
In L'Jarius Sneed, he's over with.
He's over with the
QB1
boys.
Levis.
He's over with the boys. He's over with generational talent, Will Levis.
And they're still good. Like it didn't matter. I was like, oh well, okay, that hurts their chances. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. And the Saints, like they just lost to the Falcons, right? Last week. Yeah,
Yes.
they lost to the Falcons. So it's like, I think the Falcons are frauds. Was it just a pop from the Saints? I think they're still pretty good, but I don't think they're to like what we saw in the Dallas game. I don't think they're that. I think that's their ceiling, but I don't think they're that. Like that's not the team they are. So I'm like, it's just, again, it's the next guy up mentality. I have to go Chiefs until they burn me, and they haven't burned me this year. So I'm going to go Chiefs again.
And you know what's funny is I've done the opposite from you. I've been like upset. And when I eventually call the Chiefs losing the game right, it's not going to feel as good as it would have felt in the previous weeks. But I'm in a 20-foot deep
You're in
hole.
a bind.
I'm in a 20-foot deep hole. And
tied
I'm trying
to a stake that's in the ground, and your hands are tied behind it.
And I'm trying to fish my way with my chin out of the hole, and it's raining, by the way. So I don't have much time left. But I have to
Sink
do
or
this.
swim.
I have to do this until I die. Give me the Saints. Give me Derek Carr.
It's bold, man. It's super bold. It's super bold.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody's got to lose. All right, and we're gonna forget everything that I've said in prior weeks. As soon as Kansas City loses, I'm like, I'm a genius. I called it, didn't I tell you?
All right. Last one here quickly. Dumpster bowl. Fins, Pats.
Fins, Pats. Shit.
Look, I feel for Jacoby Brissett, man. He's gonna look at his kids one day and be like, I got paid what $17 million to just get the absolute shit beat out of me for 17 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think looking at like kind of watching back some of the stuff that some of the games today, I don't think we see any of the rookies, not because Jacoby Brissett is bad enough, but because it's a literal liability. If you put one of the rookies out there, you're like asking for one of them to get hurt. And so it's just going to be Jacoby Brissett getting the absolute piss beat out of him all year. And we're going to be like, why don't you put Drake May or Joe Milton in? Because it's just car wreck after car wreck for that guy. Like, rest in peace. Bro's getting paid enough to do it, but hell, like, I don't know.
But also
I
on the
don't know.
Dolphins side,
I know.
Shout out Will
Week
Levis
2 with Tyler
for-
Huntley, maybe? Like, I don't know.
Shout out Will Levis for like the first quarter or however long he was in before he got replaced.
Hey, Callahan did say that when he returns, he will be QB1.
Yeah,
Still.
he will be. Yeah, he will be. All right. No, wait.
So, I don't know how to
Rudolph's
lean this.
taking my QB1
I don't know how to lean this game, man. I don't know how to lean this game. I'm just gonna go Finns because they've got more weapons. Like, the off chance that Tyreek catches a duck ball from Tyler Huntley and runs it for 80 yards is a higher chance than anyone on the Patriots doing anything resulting in a good way.
The Patriots have a formula that has worked against the Bengals, and then I think nobody else. I think it's only worked against the Bengals, but they have a formula of pounding that rock and running the ball and then kicking field goals, right? And it worked against the Bengals. I say it's going to work against the Dolphins. Give me the Pats.
All right, so there are our spotlight games for the week. We're gonna run through these, and then we'll do a little Monday night recap real quick because there's a couple things I want to talk about. All right, let's go quick here. Panthers, Bears. I'm going Panthers.
I'm going Panthers.
All right. Next up, we have Browns, Commanders. Commanders landslide by a touchdown at the minimum.
Yeah, I'm going Commanders as well.
Colts, Jags. I lean Colts, assuming that we get Joe Magic.
Yeah, if Joe Magic is playing, I'm going Colts.
All right, Ravens, Bengals. This game's not close. Ravens are going to roll the Bengals.
Ravens,
this is like a
yeah.
10-point game.
Yeah, Ravens.
Yeah.
Ravens have figured it out with Derek.
Raiders, Broncos. I'm going Broncos. We're going to see if we can pull together a 3-game win streak here. I'm going Broncos. No Devontae. Max Crosby, I believe, is going to be out this week. Raiders are weaponless. I'm going Broncos.
I'm going Raiders.
Of course you are.
Broncos
Cardinals,
terrible.
49ers. This is maybe a pop game for the Cardinals, but I think the 49ers have lived with the fact are coming to reality with the fact that they're not getting Christian back, and it's not like, okay, we need to hold on till he's back. So I'm just gonna go Niners. They're like, all right, we're setting our shit now. We're gonna move.
Yeah,
forward.
and everybody's coming back. Everybody's coming back and being healthy except for Christian. So I'm going 49ers as well. Jordan Mason looks awesome.
Yeah, Giants, Seahawks. I'm Seahawks. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors is going to have to wait until next year till he gets Jalen Milroe to have a competent quarterback back there. So I'm going Seahawks.
Give me the Giants.
Packers, Rams. Second week for Jordan Love back. I feel Packers here. Unfortunately,
I feel Packers as well.
Yeah,
The Rams,
Right.
they just have too many people injured.
there it is. There is our week 5 predictions here. We're on the same side for most of these games. So either we're going to end this week fantastic or
We've
we're
been
going to
doing
bail.
terrible lately.
You actually had a great week. We actually had a pretty good week. I
hell
think
yeah.
I had one. I think I got 10 games. You ended up with 13. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, you
hell
had
yeah.
13. I had 10. So I don't know how we pulled that out
Yeah, I
of our
don't know
butts,
how
but
that.
that's the best week we've had since
I'm
when.
gonna get another perfect here.
Week 4 is your week, dude. Week 4 last year is when you had your 16 for 16, and this is your best week so far. So there's something special for you about week 4
Week 4, baby. Not in fantasy, but I mean when I'm predicting.
when you're predicted. Okay, so let's do a little recap here. of the Monday night games that we had, because obviously I'm sorry, don't want to talk about the Titans Fins. That was like two autistic kids fighting.
Yeah, shut
Like
your mouth.
I just don't want.
Can we talk?
I don't want to
Let's
talk
just
about
talk
it.
about it for a second.
No,
all right.
I don't
Can we
want to talk
talk about
the
how
game.
Will Levis actually looks like he's on drugs?
I
All right,
know,
can we
dude.
talk
He's on a
about that?
generational run right now of just like embarrassing himself, man. Like, and then there's Mike McDaniels on the other side. He's like the autistic Rain Man kid that like no one's listening to, and he's just screaming in the corner. Throw Tyreek the ball. Like, you know what I mean? I can't. I don't. It's just two shambles situations that I don't want to even like acknowledge right now.
Okay, fine, man. I love talking about my QB1. He looked awesome. Obviously get back from that injury, get back on the field, start doing work, and start working your magic. That's all I got to say to my boy.
All right, let's talk about the Lions Seahawks game, because this turned out to be a way better game than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah.
Jared Goff threw a perfect game.
I know
Which
this is crazy.
This is a good way to segue. Like, once we'll segue this into our QB corner. But Jared Goff threw a perfect game, 18 for 18, 2 touchdowns, obviously no interceptions. Guy looked like Peyton Manning out there with his forehead in the post game. That guy's got a big forehead that we didn't know. It's been hiding. He's been hiding it under hats and helmets this whole time. Anyways, he throws a perfect game. The best running back duo in the league and best offensive line flashed. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs had 2 touchdowns. I think Monty had 1. Jahmyr Gibbs had 2.
And Monty had a beast mode flipping. He caught that
Bro,
thing.
he baptized Devin Witherspoon. He caught that thing, turned, boom, lit him up, bro. I'll put it in. I have the video, so I'm gonna put it in. Sit your ass down. That was hey, bell cow.
Goff protected, another completion, another short one, and
Bring it!
Bell
Bring
cow.
as you would expect, 21, you're going to see him come into the picture right there, but
It was so anyways, back to the game. Lions looked fantastic. Terrion Arnold, the corner, damn near almost cost him the game a couple times with the penalties he had, that he was just crashing out on field. DK did not necessarily have a legacy game. In the first half, it looked like it, because he had like 80 yards in the first half. I was like, oh, tingling my balls. I was right. I was right.
That
And then
catch where he was just like, there's 3 dudes on him. He was just flipping, throwing him off.
And
Gotta hold on
so
to the ball.
it did not hold, but man, shout out Geno. Like, we gotta give him his flowers. He played really well. He's balling right now. He looks like it may not reflect in our QB rankings, but just purely other than wins losses, he looks like a top 10 guy right now with just how consistent he is. And just shout out Geno. And the Seahawks have the weapons. This was their tester game for the defense. I think the offense seems to be real because they put up points in that game. It's just a question of, they put up more than enough points that if the defense gets 1 or 2 stops there, makes Jared Goff have any incompletions, they might come out of that game. It was it was better than we thought it was going to be. So,
and Kenneth Walker,
they're still frauds, I think, but
and flipping Kenneth Walker looked like Naruto out there. You see
coming
that clip?
back.
You see that clip? He's rolling on top of him. Like, what is he doing? Dude? He's looking insane.
And then even Zach Charbonnet still put up 10 fantasy points in the back end of that game, like just when in the off downs when Kenneth Walker was out. So I think the Seahawks offense is for real. I think we're going to have to wait for another test game to see if the Seahawks defense is for real, because they didn't necessarily get exposed. That's a really good Lions offensive line, but it certainly was not perfect. So
I would say when Jared Goff goes 18 for 18, you got a little bit of problems on your D line.
Yeah. But there it was. It ended up being better than we thought. The tingle in my balls was almost right. From this point, we've gone through our week 5 predictions. We're going to pause right here. We'll be back after the break to do our QB corner and rank the QBs from week 4 and project them for week 5. So we'll see you on the other side. All right. So QB corner is what we're going to get into next.
QB corner.
Who is going to be our number 1? Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco's up there. Is he even on here? Let me look.
If he is, he's probably in a Browns uniform.
He has to be here. Matt Ryan's here. But Joe
He
Flacco's not on
he
here.
wasn't a top 10, so we're fine. I
NFL tier
really-
list. Fix your tier list, huh?
I don't know who to put one, man.
I want to put Jared Goof.
It's
18
true.
for 18
Yeah,
is
you're
so
right.
rare for a man of his
He was
caliber.
he was the best statistically. He was the best quarterback. He threw a perfect game. So I guess we have to go Goof one. Does Jaden get into the conversation?
Is Jaden he's so much of a runaway in the rookies? Do we now go grab a new
Do we
tier list
graduate him?
where Jaden Daniels is in here?
Because he played like I think we have to get him into this. Like, because if we were doing this last year, CJ would have been up here at this point for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's what we can do. We can just use these old tier list because this tier list has
everyone.
Has everyone in
Okay.
there.
So do we want to scrap rookies then, since it doesn't really matter at this
We
point?
can come back to rookies when if there's competition within the rookie QB room here, but there isn't.
Right now there isn't. So okay, let's just take the rest of the rookies off and let's go into this because I think James Daniels has graduated in 4 weeks.
Where's Goofer? And Joe Flacco's here too.
Okay. He's got to be in a Browns jersey, right? Unless he's in street clothes.
No, he's in a Jets jersey.
Oh, he is. Okay.
All right,
we're not gonna. We don't need to put him. Just put him in D for now.
Yeah, for now. I'm looking for Goof.
Goof is in the second row, right under Josh.
Yeah, so he's our number one right now.
He's an S tier. After that, Goof. Where does Lamar go?
He didn't have that great of a game compared to Derek. Derek kind of carried that game, I would say.
Yeah.
We can look
Okay, so then after that, give me Sam's stats because I think he might be our.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
156, 2 TDs. That's not bad.
It's not bad. I think Sam had a better game. They put up a lot of points in that game, and it was mostly through the air.
273, 3 TDs, and that interception that doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Yeah.
So I think he's 2, and then give me Jaden's stats so we can see whether he needs to go 2 or not. He's probably in a Niners jersey.
He's definitely on here.
Scroll up a little bit. Yeah, he's in a Niners jersey next to Dalton, Andy
This
Dalton, and Tommy. Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah, let's see what Jaden's stats work. I think the other interesting one here is where does Justin Fields go?
233, a TD, and an interception.
Okay, so Sam goes over him.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're good there. I think now we're in A.
Yeah, let me find Justin. Justin for sure is going up on this board.
He's next to Tommy. And then we got to talk about Baker too.
Yeah, and Baker.
Because Baker popped the Eagles cherry. So give me Baker stats and give me Justin stats. Baker's got to go ahead of him because he won. It's just a question of does he go ahead of Justin?
347 and 2 TDs, 0 interceptions.
No interceptions, 100%, 100 QB rating. Yeah, he's got to go above Jaden. He might even be in S as well. He might be the third guy in S. Do you want to go S or do you want to go front of A?
Front of A.
Okay, front of A.
He might be an S guy, honestly.
I know he might be S. He might have been the third best quarterback. Unless there's someone we're just missing, like that we're just not thinking about. The Niners, I don't think Purdy had a crazy game, and I don't think that CJ. Well, let's find out what CJ did. CJ and Brock are next. Let's see where they fall.
CJ went 345 for 2 TDs and 0 interceptions.
Shit.
Everybody's having great games right now.
Holy shit. Brock. Let's find out what Brock did.
All right, so this is how it's got to go now.
They beat the Patriots pretty handedly last week.
288, 1 TD, 1 interception. So,
Okay, so and probably in B.
Yeah, he's a B guy right now.
That's more yards than that's more, but the Cardinals.
I think Jaden's has to come down the
level of difficulty, Jaden versus the Cardinals or Niners versus Pats level of difficulty.
Jaden's more Jaden
Okay.
had harder competition for
Okay.
sure.
What's Justin's stats? Because we need to find out where he goes because they lost, but it was that wasn't that his pop game where he went just absolutely insane.
Yeah, so he went 312, 1 TD, 0 interceptions, but rushing too. Let me see.
Because he had like 2 rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah, he had 10 carries for 55 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, he can live in A, even though they lost. That's a
22
ridiculous
for
stat line.
34. Yeah.
Yeah, 300
That's
yards.
crazy.
That's a ridiculous stat line. He's got to be at the back of A, but that's insanity.
Yeah.
Okay, where does Josh go? I know they lost, but he's
Josh
got to
Allen?
fall. Yeah, he's got to fall, but because I know they lost, but he's still better than majority of the quarterbacks.
He went 180, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions, 55% completion ratio.
Oof.
That
So
was a
he's got to
bad
be
game.
on there. He's got to be on the list because he was there last week, but we can put him in like C.
Yeah, we'll put him in C. All right, now
Okay.
let's look at the GOAT.
Oh, I was gonna say Joe after this. This was not a good game for Pat.
245, a TD, and an interception.
Yeah.
So he's
Not
above
60,
Josh.
89 pass rate. And they won. So yeah, he's got to go above Josh. But
Who are we looking at now?
Joe Burrow, because they beat the Panthers and they put up a ton of points. So I feel like statistically
232, a TD, and an interception.
100% passer rating.
71% completion ratio. I think he can go B.
Yeah, he can go B. And the only reason Patrick's there is because it's Patrick Mahomes, so we grade him on a curve. So
This is 10.
who's
Anybody
on the
else?
list that dropped out? But who's on the list that dropped out there? Scroll down
Don't
to our
remember.
quarterbacks.
Well, this
Scroll
is
down
the
to our
old one.
quarterbacks. I know. Just scroll down to our quarterbacks.
Andy Dalton.
Lamar's got to be on the list. He's got to go over Josh. And Andy Dalton, you can put him down with the rookies because he was on the list, but just
Derek
take
Carr
everyone
was
out of
there.
rookies but Caleb. Just take Drake and Bo out of there because yeah,
Derek Carr was in there.
Derek Carr was in there. Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I was just
know-
looking at him.
I know he lost, but he was on the list, so we got to put him in there at the bottom. And then Dak, they beat. Oh, that's right. Dak played the Giants.
Kyler, 145, 1 TD, 72%.
Yeah, he was on the
completion
list previously, so he's got to be at the bottom, but he's in there. How about Dak? Because they beat the Giants, but it wasn't super convincing.
221, 2 TDs, 81% completion ratio. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, 122 passer rating. Okay, so throw him.
Dak's got to go, I think. I think he kicks somebody out with that stat line.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers is yet to break the top 10.
Yeah.
Still to this point in the year. Okay.
I think like 2 weeks ago he had a great game. Not last game.
So based on statistics, now let's just go by feeling of our balls because we've got the statistics, guys. We've got all the guys that are on there. So stats wise, this is what we have. But now let's go by our balls and let's sort because
all right, buy balls. Buy balls.
Yeah, like
Justin
he
Fields
looked
S tier.
fantastic. Yeah.
Buy balls. Justin
looked-
Fields S tier.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd bring Sam down. Look at the stats.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with that. Just because we're kind of becoming accustomed to him just doing
273, 3 TDs. I mean, 275, 3 TDs. I mean, that's still great. I mean, that interception
it's
again.
A. It's A.
Yeah, it's an A.
For sure. I think it's front.
So
it's
we have a
above
guy-
CJ.
Perfect game. It was very
Yeah,
rare that Jared Goff's
perfect
there,
game.
and then a boom, big
Yeah.
boom over here.
Lost to Joe, but big boom. And then we've got Baker, CJ, Sam, and then we've got Jaden at the front of B, Brock, and then Joe Burrow. And that works just because that's level of difficulty. They all didn't have crazy stats, but just level of difficulty. And then
You have
I'm gonna
Dak
be
who played the
honest,
Giants.
Yeah, that's level of difficulty. Patrick is low just because
Not a great
he's
game.
not a great game for him. Lamar kind of got carried,
Both of
and
those
then
not a great game.
Josh fell off. And then we just have Joe. Put Joe down in F with the other guys because he's honorable mention. He's just in there. Okay, so there's our list. There it is. Okay, so we've got our top 10, right? 2, 5, 8.
We have 11 right now.
We have 11. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Josh is on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
He was so high up, he falls to the bottom of the heap. But then basically from here on out, we'll just be going with this. And then everyone who is on the list but slides off the top 4 tiers will end up in F, and then they get brought back if we need them to be. But for the
And
moment,
rookies are scrapped till they start playing ball. All right.
Yeah. Until anyone but Jaden has a pop game, it's
until we can
scrapped.
put somebody else up with the big boys. All right, rookies are out of here.
Yeah, and like Caleb might be in there with like a flash game or something. He might pop up into like C or something. I don't foresee him going any higher than that unless we see just like something ridiculous happen this year. But there it is. Goof, Justin, Baker, CJ, Sam, Jaden, Brock, Joe, Dak, Mahomes, Lamar, Josh. I just realized Mahomes was the only one I said his last name. There it is. There is the mountain. There's our QB rankings heading into week 5 based on week 4's performance. And of course, the tingle in our nuts.
Big tingle. Might be
Lots of
more
tingle.
than chlamydia.
White man of the week. Give us white man of the week if you're feeling up to it.
Well, it's not going to be as extravagant as we're accustomed to. I'm a little under the weather. Being under the weather, it makes me reminisce of when I was a child. You know, your mom brings you soup, you get to skip school, and you get to play video games all day. You know,
Zane.
something else happened this week
Zane.
that made me reminisce and feel like a child.
Zane.
And you know what that was?
Zane.
That was Mr. Daddy Flacca.
Yeah.
Daddy Flacca
Let's
coming
go.
back into the game against the Steelers with Big Ben in the house and getting a win for the Indianapolis Colts.
Let's go.
Made me feel like a child watching Mr. Flacca do it for the Ravens, win a Super Bowl for me and my team. All I got to say to this old man is I love you. You're like a
Wish you the
father
best.
to me. You're like a father to me in ways you could never know, Daddy Flacca.
I thought you were going to go Derrick Henry, and I was going to be so mad at you.
No.
And then I was like, wait, is he going to go Goof?
Yeah, Goof was up there for sure, but Daddy Flacca, Anthony Richardson got hurt. Flacco comes in. This was a huge game. There was a video of Flacco shaking Ben's hand. You know, they've been rivals, Ravens versus Steelers. He's in there to watch, and all of a sudden, Joe Flacco comes back. He's on the field again. He goes 61.5% completion ratio, 168 TDs, 168 yards, 2 TDs, and 0 interceptions. Still showing that this generation of quarterbacks that we grew up with, they still got it, and potentially they're better than all these other bums that we're watching right now. Our generation was the best. Calling it right now.
I wonder if Ben was watching that game and was like, I can sling it 20 times.
Yeah, he's like, any of these teams need a big Ben Roethlisberger.
I could sling it 20 times.
I'm telling you, dude, I want it so bad. I want them all to come back I want them all to be backup QBs. That should be in the contract. Once you've played, if you are a 10-year guy,
Ben's not that old, bro, because I feel like he's not that old because he came into the league and he won his first Super Bowl at like 23 or something. So like he wasn't that old.
Yeah, no, I don't know how old he is. I think Joe's definitely a little bit older than Big Ben.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like Big Ben, like I know he had injuries and stuff and it fell apart at the end, but like he's not that old.
Still, dude, it should be in a contract. If you win a Super Bowl or you're a 10-year franchise guy, you have to play 5 years as a backup on some team.
Or just be the QB coach.
No, you have to be eligible to strap up in a moment's notice and go play football. It needs to be put in these guys' contracts, dude. Because what Joe is doing right now, it's amazing. It's 2 years in a row. I never thought I would be able to see Joe Flacco play for 2 more years. It's absolutely insane.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the only rebuttal I have to that with your 5-year thing. entertaining that this ever became a thing. There's guys like Matt Ryan that it's just you don't want them.
I don't know about that.
I
would
think
love
the
to
Colts would.
I
I
would
think the Colts
love-
are much happier with Joe Flacco than they are Matt Ryan. He
I
was
know, but
shambles in his last year in Indy. He was so bad. Matt Ryan had one of
They
the
take a
worst
hiatus.
years.
they take a hiatus. They get 3 years off, and then they come back as a backup. They never practice. They don't do any of that. They just show up, and then
Bro.
they never do any contact drills, and they're just there on the sidelines as your glue guy for the young QBs.
Speaking of that, two things got me this week. I saw a meme, and it was so well put together. It looked like a newspaper in Miami. And it was like that Andrew Luck went on a visit in Miami. And I was like, and it got me, bro. I thought it was so real. I was like, oh my God, Andrew Luck's returning to football. Got me so hyped, but it was not real. I wonder how much of this, like, I know Tom's done, and I know he says he's done. He's got his job at Fox, okay?
Yeah.
And he's like trying to make it work.
Mhm.
Wasn't he thinking about Miami?
Wasn't he thinking? I mean,
Wasn't he
he's
thinking-
pretty close to Tampa. Yeah, I bet you's got a house there. You know, you could
I'm
take
not-
the Lamborghini Huracan from his house in Tampa down to Miami.
Like, what? Like, how much money, Tom? What are the odds? What are the
What
odds?
are the
Tom?
odds, Tom? You've been a very generous guy with your contracts. You got another one in you, Tom. You got
How
another
much-
generous contract in you.
Dude? And like, it's only we're at week 5. They play week 5. He gets on the practice squad. He plays. He's on the like not practice squad, but like he signs. He's there for a week. He practices. He comes in week 7. There's only 10 games he has to play.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the road anyways for Fox. Like part of the thing is he wanted to be done because he's like, I want to like be able to be with like my kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be on the road with Fox. He's gonna do some Christmas game. Like, why not, Tommy? Strap it up.
Tom?
Strap it up.
And I mean, especially with how the NFL is looking, everybody's talking shit on these QBs. Everybody's doing it. All these old QBs are like, they can't read defenses like we grew up reading defenses. It seems like the prime time, the prime spot for these old QBs to make a little bit of a resurgence here and start playing some football.
Speaking of rumors, there's a rumor that Kyle Pitts could be headed to the Denver Broncos, and I almost threw up in my mouth when I heard that.
You mean Kyle Pitts? Hey, you don't know nothing about Kyle Pitts.
I do know about Kyle Pitts, and he's a generational talent coming out.
Oh yeah, he is.
That boy's confidence is gone. And if you think Sean Payton's going to be nurturing to anyone else but Bo Nix, you're mistaken, my friend. I don't know. I don't want Kyle Pitts in my locker room.
Why not, dude? That'd be like a Shannon Sharp. It'd be a Shannon Sharp in Denver again. I would
Maybe.
I would be jumping
Maybe.
at that chance to get Kyle Pitts on the Denver Broncos. Are you kidding me?
I just don't think that he's got. I think it goes back to the culture thing and the confidence thing. I think it's been shaken. I don't know.
And you think the Denver Broncos have a winning culture right now?
No, that's why I think it would just be it wouldn't help anything. It would just be worse for him. He'd just be like, I left a guy that maybe could have got me the ball to go to a guy who's struggling to put 60 yards on the board.
That is true.
Like, I don't think it helps him in any way. Like from a Kyle Pitts perspective,
but, I mean,
it
if he
helps
was-
me zero. And then and from a Broncos perspective, it's just more money we're spending.
Broncos have a lot of money to spend.
Not right now.
Yeah, 'cause
Next
of
year.
paying Russ.
Next
Next year
year.
they do.
2025, we have like 73 million in cap, which is insane. We have the potential to just go out and
You know,
just anyone who's up in the air, just like, hey, how would you like 20 million in upfront, and then we'll pay you a dollar a game? Sure.
you know who Sean Payton would nurture in the tight end position? Brock Bowers.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Taysom Hill. I was like, we tried to get him.
Brock Bowers. I don't know. Something about Brock. Something about Brock Bowers that, Sean
There's
Payton.
something about
seen-
Brock that I trust.
Yeah, there's something about Brock I trust. That's what Sean Payton's saying over there in the hills of Colorado.
We've jabbered enough. There's enough of bullshit for me to cut out here.
We've yanked our chain way too long right
Way
now.
too long.
Now-
It's
yes,
raw now.
It hurts.
I'm Devin. That's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. We just went through week 5 predictions for the NFL
And QB corner.
and our QB corner, as well as
And
by
we-
the end of the week. Again, I'm Devin. That's Zane. This is Buffet Sports. You guys suck at comments, so we cut it for now until you guys pick your shit up. We love you, though. Ciao.